Hello and welcome to an album a day, day 292, called I Was Excited and Then Deflated. But we'll get there. Today we're talking about an album from the wonderful package that my friend Mark Roback from the 70s Weekly Countdown with Mark and Pete sent over to me. And this is the 1986 copy of Warner Brothers issue 4, the Wildcats soundtrack from the film. And this is really cool, actually, but I'm going to get into the album second. I'll show you the cover first. And there's a reason for that, because my excitement and disappointment both come from the vinyl. We'll get there. So there is a little bit of a niche at the bottom. That means that it was discount in a record store. They didn't sell it. They put merch on discount. They do this, or they used to do this anyway. I don't know what they do now. I think everything's probably just scannable now, but back in the day when you actually didn't have scanners and barcodes that you could scan at the register and things like that, people would take price tags and put lower price tags on merchandise to make them cheaper, and they would get away with paying less for it. That was an actual thing. Can't really do that so much anymore. Maybe on clearance items or something you can, but everything's still scanned, right? So even if you put a price tag on it that's lower, unless it has the barcode, but they can also see that the item is not the same thing. Anyway, they used to put these little niches in the vinyl so that you would bring this up to the register and they knew that this came from a discount bin, that a lower price was correct. And in doing so, they completely devalued the whole package. So that's just the way that we used to do things. But anyway, this is the front cover here. On the back, we get the song list, a little bit of wording. Of course, this is the Goldie Hawn movie. I don't think I've ever seen it, actually. I may have seen bits and pieces of it if it was on cable, but I don't recall actually watching or ever seeing the movie. There is no sleeve, and that's okay. So here's where it gets interesting. Now, the vinyl is in, beautiful condition. They both are, other than that notch, which is not the fault of the purchaser. Well, I guess you could choose not to buy that one, but if it's like $5 compared to $15, why wouldn't you buy that if it's sealed? So I'll show you the side 2 first. Okay, typical white Warner Brothers label, excuse me, with the faded Warner Brothers logo in the background there in the middle. Very nice. We get to side 1, very, very nice, but here's where it got weird. And I learned, this is great though, because I learned something today. Got into quite a conversation with ChatGPT about how records are pressed over the last few days, and a couple other records that I was curious about. But here's the thing, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's in, so this middle bit between the sticker and where the grooves end is called the run out. That's because the grooves have run out, and you're now just in the black hole of the middle label, as Bob McKenzie would call it. But here in the middle, in the run out, there are often identifiers as to which particular release. So you may have a record number on the label, but then multiple releases, different record plants. Sometimes the record plant will be listed on the label. It'll have like a DL or whatever the 2-letter combination is. But here's the thing, in the run out, you have some other numbers. So I'm going to try and, don't know. Yeah, you probably can't see it. But this is all engraved into the master press, right? But there is a whole record number in here that is just scratched out. And I thought, that's weird, because it doesn't look like it was done after the fact. It doesn't look like somebody took a knife or a pen or something and scratched it out. It looks like it's actually pressed in that way. And I thought, well, if you knew it was wrong, why would you press it that way in the first place? Why would you not clean all this up? Apparently, that's how they did all these etchings by hand into the master mold. So they would make the mold. It's warm. It's not quite solid yet. And they actually go in with like a needle or pen or however they did it, and they actually manually write all this stuff, which is why it's typically a little bit sloppy. Doesn't look like it's printed. Doesn't always line up like 100% perfectly because they're done by hand. So what happened was they had the master, they put the wrong number on it, and they're not going to press a whole new master. That would cost too much money, take too much time. They've got to get these things on the assembly line. Let's go. So they just scratch it out. So there it is. I was hoping that this was some sort of rare pressing where something went wrong and there's only like 10 of these in the entire world or something like that. No, this is actually somewhat common. There was another album I had, I can't remember which one it was now, but there was another one I had that was scratched out, but it was explained on Discogs in a way that it didn't alert me to the fact that it might be potentially like a rare pressing. But yeah, so that's how they do it. I had no idea, so I learned that today. Very happy to have found that out, because I like to learn things, especially if it's something that I have an interest in. Not really, I mean, I like to learn things, but it's better if it has an interest to me, as opposed to just learning things that I will forget 20 minutes later and never, ever, ever have a reason to recall. But this is a great album for my collection. I do collect some soundtracks. I do have quite a few in my collection. Gladiator probably being my favorite. This beautiful 180 gram double vinyl, beautiful packaging, unbelievable, probably one of the nicest records that I own. Got that brand new, but this is great. I love having some of these soundtracks in my collection. There's some really good songs on here. I should probably talk about the songs, because I haven't even done that. I got so excited about sharing all this new information. So we only have 10 tracks on this album. We go to side 1, and we have Good Hands, Show Me How It Works, Razzle Dazzle, not the Deep Purple song, Don't Want to Be Normal, and Rocket, not the Def Leppard song. Then we get to side 2, Penetration, Hard to Say, Love Lives Alone, Molly's Theme, and We Stand Alone. We have quite an impressive list of artists on this album, though. You've got the Isley Brothers, you've got Mavis Staples, Michael Jeffries, Randy Crawford, Sidney Justin, Brenda Russell, James Ingram, Tata Vega, James Newton Howard, Joe Cocker. I mean, this is a really good selection of artists that worked on this project. And I'll tell you what, it's really cool. The music is really nice, definitely fits the time. I don't know how it applies to the film, but I'm sure that all makes sense. I mean, it usually does. Every once in a while, I'll hear a song and go, I don't know why they picked this. And a lot of times when I've researched it, it comes down to licensing. They couldn't get the piece they wanted that would have fit the film perfectly. They try and find something close to the emotion or the tempo, or, there's many reasons that pieces are chosen for film. But yeah, this is really good stuff. So check it out, guys. Wildcats Soundtrack. Thank you, Mark Roback. Please check out the 70s Weekly Countdown with Mark and Pete. They have recently switched distributors, so make sure that you find, if they're on your pod player already, make sure that there are episodes, because if there are episodes, you have the right one. If there's no episode, you don't have the right one. But they're slowly adding their back catalog as time allows. Really great show, especially if you listened to the old Casey Kasem countdowns back in the day, because you'll hear them in the show, and it's really cool. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.